T7C antenna measurements and troubleshooting. 11 questions. What is the primary purpose of a dummy load? A. To prevent transmitting signals over the air when testing. A dummy load is a non-radiating substitute for an antenna. It absorbs the transmitter's RF output as heat, allowing you to test and tune your transmitter without sending signals over the air. This is a courteous and often required during testing. Which of the following instruments can be used to determine if an antenna is resonant at the desired operating frequency? Both A and C. Both an SWR meter and an antenna analyzer can determine antenna resonance. A SWR meter shows impedance match or low SWR equals near resonance. An antenna analyzer provides more detailed information including impedance, reactance, and SWR across a range of frequencies. What does a dummy load consist of? A 50 ohm non-inductive resistor mounted on a heat sink. A dummy load is a 50 ohm non-inductive resistor designed to handle the transmitter's power output. It's mounted on a heat sink or immersed in oil for high power to dissipate the RF energy as heat. The non-inductive design ensures a purely resistive load. What reading on a SWR meter indicates a perfect impedance match between the antenna and the feed line? 1:1. A SWR of 1:1 indicates a perfect match. All power is being delivered to the antenna with no reflected power. In practice, SWR below 1.5:1 is considered good. High SWR means more power is being reflected back toward the transmitter. Why do most solid-state transmitters reduce output power as SWR increases beyond certain values? A. To protect the output transistors from damage. Solid-state final amplifier transistors are sensitive to high reflected power caused by impedance mismatch. The automatic power reduction or foldback circuit protects these expensive components from damage due to excessive reflected power. What does an SWR reading of 4:1 indicate? C. An impedance mismatch. An SWR of 4:1 indicates a significant impedance mismatch between the feed line and the antenna. This means a substantial portion of the transmitter's power is being reflected back. The antenna system needs attention. Check connections, antenna length, or matching. What happens to power lost in a feed line? B. It is converted to heat. Power lost in a feed line is converted to heat through the cable's resistance and dielectric losses. This is why using low-loss cable is important, especially at high frequencies and longer cable runs where losses increase significantly. Which instrument can be used to determine SWR? C. Directional wattmeter. A directional wattmeter measures both forward and reflected power, from which SWR can be calculated. Many modern SWR meters are actually directional wattmeters that display the result as an SWR ratio automatically. Which of the following is a common cause of failure in coaxial cables? A. Moisture contamination. Moisture contamination is a major cause of coaxial cable failure. Water intrusion increases losses dramatically and degrades the cable's characteristics. Always weatherproof outdoor connections and replace cables showing signs of moisture ingress. Why should the outer jacket of coaxial cable be resistant to ultraviolet light? C. Ultraviolet light can damage the jacket and allow moisture to enter the cable. UV radiation from sunlight degrades the outer jacket of coaxial cable over time, causing it to crack and deteriorate. Once the jacket is compromised, moisture can enter and dramatically increase losses. Use UV-resistant cable for outdoor installation. What is a disadvantage of air core coaxial cable compared to foam or solid dielectric types? C. It requires special procedures to prevent moisture in the cable. Air core or air dielectric coaxial cable has lower loss than foam or solid types, but its hollow center makes it vulnerable to moisture intrusion. Special connectors and sealing procedures are needed to keep water out, especially at outdoor connections. Some key takeaways from section T7C. A dummy load absorbs RF as heat for testing without transmitting over the air. SWR of 1:1 is a perfect match, and 4:1 is a significant mismatch needing attention. Both SWR meters and antenna analyzers can determine antenna resonance. Solid-state transmitters reduce power at high SWR to protect output transistors. Feed line power loss converts to heat. Use low-loss cable for long runs. Moisture contamination is the #1 cause of coaxial cable failure. Air core coax has lower loss but requires special moisture prevention procedures.